Hello Taurus, welcome to your October of 2019 Astrology and Tarot. My name is Jai Gobind. This is your channel for grace. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for hitting that notification bell, you guys, and also giving this video a thumbs up. I'll let you know what's going on for October and then we'll get right into the astrology. On October 13th, Jason and I from Ray of Light Tarot are going to be launching our course, our 6-week course called Finding the Magic Playground, which is a course to help you sort of embody manifesting in your life. Become really familiar with all of the laws and the things that are so important to understand when it comes to the law of attraction and how we actually manifest and where that comes from, and also what it really means for us to be alive in the world at this time. When you think about the ascension of the earth, the ascension of the planet, the major shifts that are going on right now, all of these things are influencing us, and we really have come here to make a difference. We really have come here to create sacred space on the planet and to really be happy and joyful and to be those examples of anchoring the light in the world. And so we will teach you how to manifest, and we'll talk about this idea of manifestation, but also give you a lot of information about why do you want to manifest? Why do you want to be happy? How is this going to help you in your life? And I think in a general way, we really all want to be happy. So this is something that you definitely don't want to miss. Check it out. The information is in the description of the video. We also will have astrology natal chart readings available starting in October. You'll be able to sign up on my website, which is channelforgrace.guru. And remember, my Etsy sale, my shop is called Eagle Star Jewels. Everything is on sale at 50% off until the end of September. Make sure you also watch the October astrological forecast video so that you can get a more detailed explanation of all of these transits that I am going to be going through with you guys right now. So Taurus rising, Moon and Venus. What we have for you this month, we start the month with 3 major events. The first one is Pluto goes direct on the 3rd, Mercury moves into Scorpio, and Mars moves into Libra. Now, Pluto direct is going direct in your 9th house of spiritual integration. Pluto is the planet of transformation. And when it's retrograde, it's a very internal transformational process. But when it's direct, it's a very external process. So your spiritual understanding, your ability to understand, yourself as a spiritual being is going to really shift, or you'll start to understand things on a deeper level. Pluto is the natural ruler of Scorpio and the 8th house, which is like transformation. But in the 9th house, it points to that like in-depth knowledge that comes from understanding things like the occult and, hidden knowledge. And you understanding yourself, like, what are you doing on this planet, right? As a spiritual being, what are you doing on this planet? Those are things that are a must if you are to move on to the next phase of healing and spiritual evolution. So that's going to be a really powerful transit for you happening in your 9th house. Now, Mercury moving into Scorpio, that is going to be our mind desiring to know the truth. Our mind desiring to know way deeper underneath the surface of what's going on. It's happening in your 7th house of relationships. So what is going on in your relationship world, you're going to want to know. You're going to want to know majorly. And Mars moving into Libra is happening in your 6th house of work and being here now, like being in the present moment. And this is interesting because Mars is drive. It doesn't really like to be in Libra. It can actually be a little bit lazy in Libra. And that might be a little difficult for you, especially as a Taurus energy, because Taurus are very they can be a little slow moving, although they do accomplish things. They just take their time and they do it in a way that feels good, and Mars in Libra does point to relationships and understanding relationships and figuring, and finding balance between relationships and more cooperation between relationships. So that's going to be an aspect that's going to be happening in your 6th house. And So the sixth house is like the work that you do on a daily basis. So just avoid getting lazy. That's all I'm going to say about, Taurus for the sixth house. It's just kind of avoid getting lazy with this Libra energy in Mars in Libra. But for you, work also has a lot to do with relationships. It's almost like you love working with other people. But it has to be like a pleasant environment, right? It can't be like a stressful thing, because Taurus is not ever going to really like that. But that's what's happening on the 3rd. That's how we start October with. We also get a Sun square Saturn on the 7th happening the Sun is in your 6th house of work, and Saturn is in your 9th house of spirituality. And so what you're going to feel is a little bit of a feeling of conflict between your everyday work, your everyday life, and your spirituality. Like, ask yourself, how are those two connected? Do they match? Is what I do in my everyday life actually helping me spiritually evolve and spiritually integrate? Because if it's not, most likely you're going to feel like a huge conflict, and you're going to feel like whatever you're doing in your everyday life has to change to match what's going on in your 9th house of spiritual integration. There's a Mercury oppose Uranus on this day as well. Mercury will be in your 7th house of relationships, opposing Uranus in your 1st house. And so let me just double check that that's correct. Yeah, that's Uranus is in Taurus. Yeah, in your 1st house. That is your 1st house. So this is like the realm of you, and the realm, like you and your identity and who you are and how you see yourself and how you are like pretty much all on your own, awakening and opening up to who you are with other people and how you relate to other people. Uranus in Taurus is asking you to step into a new you, to rebuild yourself. And that's a powerful transit. It's asking you to rebuild yourself so that you can have better relationships. And Mercury in Scorpio will help you to understand things at a much deeper level. Venus moves into Scorpio on the 8th into your 7th house of relationships. And that is cool because, Venus rules the 7th house of relationships. So this could be like I kind of know this realm. I kind of know this world. I'm familiar with it because I was born with this, I was born with Scorpio in my 7th house. And so when its ruling planet, Venus, comes into that house, like there's going to be a lot happening for you in the realm of relationship. I'm just going to say that. A lot of discovering the truth about your relationships and where they really stand. Now, the full moon in Aries is on the 13th of October. This is going to be happening in your 12th house of bliss and the unconscious mind and the realm of Neptune and dreams and visions and the future and the unknown. So it's actually really beautiful because Aries is this like initiating energy. It is the beginning of a very powerful lunar cycle. And you will be experiencing it as like, ooh, you're going to start this lunar cycle in that house of like the unknown and discovering that and like diving into those places. And I think for a lot of us that are on spiritual journeys, this is something that is it's key to understanding where we're at and who we are, is knowing those, hidden messages and mystery, school topics and the occult and things like that. That's going to be somewhere where you start your journey there, which is actually really cool. The sun will enter Scorpio on the 23rd, and the new moon in Scorpio on the 27th. Both of those will be in your 7th house of relationships. So relationships. Taurus. That's what's up for you. And in Scorpio too, which is a little intense, because Scorpio wants to know the truth and is also very passionate, but can also be very jealous and controlling, possessive. So just watch out for all those things. We end the month on the 30th with Mercury conjunct Venus, trine Chiron. So Mercury and Venus in Scorpio in your 7th house are, like I said, it's actually a nice thing because they communicate to each other. And Mercury likes to understand things in a mental way, and Venus is the Scorpio energy now that wants to really like sort of experience love in a very in-depth kind of way. So they're kind of talking to each other, and then there will be trining Chiron, which is in your 12th house, and that is going to activate again that desire to understand the beyond, to see things, but there's more, like there's this message of like there's more to this world than what we see right here in front of us, and let's dive deeper and understand it from a wider perspective. And you might even understand why certain relationships feel like very karmic, and why there's a lot of stuff that's healing in your life, because Chiron in Aries is helping us to heal the wounded masculine within us all. So that's what's happening for you. The focus, I would say, is going to be mostly on your relationships, but also figuring out like where you're at in a spiritual sense. I think that you will figure out your spirituality through your relationships this month. Like you'll figure out what relationships are aligned with your spiritual path and what relationships are not aligned with your spiritual path. And that's going to be very important for you, because that you must discover the truth about your relationships this month. We start with the death card. This is so Scorpio. So the death is a transformation energy. It's shifting, but once you experience this transformational death, you are like reborn and you feel amazing. You get the Fool card as well. This is Aries energy. This is pointing towards the full moon, and also Chiron in Aries in your 12th house. So you're definitely beginning a new journey. You go through the death process. This very Scorpio. You go through the death process, you release, you let go, you transform, you become a new person, and you literally begin a new journey with the Fool. And it's a beautiful journey of, I really feel like you're stepping into spirituality. So with the Devil card here, you have to remember that anything that is toxic in your life will not fit in. Like will no longer fit in. But if you are engaging in toxic behavior, toxic patterns, whether they're mental, emotional, physical, whether you're in toxic relationships, those things will really make things worse. You know, it's interesting because Scorpio energy is actually very much can be toxic because of its tendency to be possessive and jealous in relationships. And that's, I don't know why, but I'm feeling that energy here with this Devil card. So if any relationship, this comes back to the whole relationship thing, if any relationship in your life, Taurus, is toxic, that it's time to move on from it. It really is. It's not going to serve you at all. Let's pull one more card for you guys. One more message for Taurus. The Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. You might feel like you are kind of having to balance things in your life right now, and it's bringing a little bit of stress. Like you have so much going on that you can't quite feel like comfortable in it. And that's okay, because the change that's going on for you is huge. This is huge. The Death card is huge. The Fool card is, I mean, these are all major arcanas. You have 3 major arcanas. The Devil card is huge. This like toxic, the devil energy feels like it's too much. And so there might be certain points where you feel like you want to give up. You feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much work. I'm not interested in doing this much work, you know? But once you find that the perfect spot where you feel more comfortable with where you're at, and it's gonna be where there's no toxic energy. You will find more clarity and understanding of why it is that things are changing so much for you, and where you can point your energy towards. And the card that you got, you actually got two of them, so I'll show you both of them, from this secret language of light, is wellness, which is so it's really important for you to be in wellness. And how do you find wellness? Well, this is wellness in all realms. This is wellness in the realm of your physical body, your mind. So it's this body, mind, and emotional wellness. I think you're moving in this direction, and also this is really important for you to be able to juggle and handle all those things that are definitely coming at you and wanting to be fixed and revealed and understood. And you also get the card of manifestation. You are Taurus, okay? You are very much a manifester, because you focus in this earthly realm. You focus on Gaia, you focus on Mother Earth, and you know and you understand her energies and how she works. So this three-dimensional world that we live in, you're probably the most comfortable in it than anybody else, because, you know, other signs, you know, the air signs, they're like a lot in their heads. They're not so much in their bodies. You are very much in your body. So taking care of your body during this time, especially because Uranus is in Taurus in your first house, asking you to rebuild yourself, to recreate a new you that takes you towards more spiritual enlightenment. For example, Pluto and Saturn and the South Node being, you know, right now transiting your 9th house of spiritual integration. I mean, you're dealing with karmic stuff from past lives and even this life, past experiences in this life that are being forced to the surface by Saturn, so that you can look at them and transform them and transmute them and change them. And with that going on, like, that's a lot. That's a lot, because that has to do with you finding your true self, your inner light. 9th house of spiritual integration. So I hope that this reading resonated with you, Taurus. Definitely just hang in there. Do things this month that make you feel good. Do things like a lot of self-care is going to be really important for you. So, you know, go to the hot tub, you know, take baths if you need to, go enjoy yourself, be out in nature. What do you love to do? Do more of those things this month to help you balance this energy of transformation and shift that is coming. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your month, and I will see you again next month. Sat Nam.